Beautiful ignited souls, we are ready for a new creation. Ignited souls, I am about to commit a crime. Okay, something tells me I might be going around this the wrong way. But who announces committing a crime? I only do because I need you as my accomplice. So look out and listen up. But in all honesty, it's in the name of love, to its purest intention, for growth, for evolution, for self-love, for self-knowledge, for aspiration, for loving thy neighbor as thyself, loving the Lord thy God as thyself, the Lord thy God, your God. Now understand who your God is. Now Christians, we have been told that Jesus Christ is Lord God. Now, they may not have told you a lie in this way, but I am here to tell you that there is something more you have not been told. And because, as we know in our culture, when certain information is withheld from you, it is a crime. A certain information that is meant to be for your personal growth, for understanding who you are, for knowing thyself and to love thyself. This rule, however, may not appear applicable to ministers of religion, preachers, pastors, and so on. They are exempt. Now, nature teaches us a lot of things. We can just look at it that way. We have our parents, for instance. Having your parents and you grow up, you are expected to venture, go afield, be self-sufficient, learn to be self-sufficient in that sense that you can look after yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself, know and whatever you have been taught, but to have this elevated and evolve and even look at it as taking on the baton that your parents had left you or given you something, a seed, whatever they had given you, to the height of what they had given it to you. Then you now have the land, if you like, plant it within this land, which you are the garden, and of course grow. That is what we are meant to do. This is how nature is. Like someone gave me a plant, a geranium plant, but he came and saw, oh God, I'm amazed with what you have done with it, because every time it seemed like it's going to do something. Anyway, I do a cutting and I plant more and I have a geranium garden. So this is what we are meant to do. This is how we are meant to be, and so on. Why am I saying I'm committing a crime? I know I have done loads and hundreds of videos showing the 14 gods, but I feel it's impressed upon my heart to really reveal to you and really tell you in plain language that you have been lied to. Now, you have been lied to is not because that any word of this is untrue. No. But this is a code. This is a book of codes which you are. You are the Word. You are there from the beginning. In the beginning was the Word. You were there. You are the Son of God, the Son of Man, the daughter of God, whatever it is. Because again, you are that plant, that cutting that had been passed on. Like in a relay race, for instance, the person runs to a certain point and hands over to whoever is waiting to take on the baton. This is why you are born at a certain time, to be there to collect that baton at a certain time when it is being passed on to you. How are you going to hold this? Now you make a discernment whether you are going to pass on the baton to win a race that is going to not only help you but help the human race as to evolve and to be sustained and whatever it is and protected and so on. So this is nothing wrong with this, because nothing wrong with you. However, I want to say this is why in the teachings of Christ it says, or in the Bible or wherever you get it, those who have eyes to see, let them see. And I can show you, which showing takes a while if you like, but in all the teachings that I am giving, I'm trying to see if I can get hold of my Bible, that shows the verbatim gods. So often when you hear about the teachings of the Hebrews or from Kemet or wherever was stolen and was put in here, it was put in a language. So some people say it was watered down. It wasn't watered down, people. It was there. When you have the 14 Egyptian gods, they are in here. It's the 14 verbatim gods. When you have the 14 gods of Hindu that they celebrate in 7th of July of every year. I may have the date, close anyway, but I feel it's the 7th of July because I tend to think of the 7 denoting 14 gods, which is encapsulating the creation, the gods of creation coming together, forming the number 5, which is what we call Christ, which is what we call the pyramid, which is what we call house. You are the house. So this has a lot of metaphors in there. Is that it's like the story rhymes, if you like, or the rhymes, kindergarten, and going through different levels. But the level that your pastor has not told you, and I am like thinking they must know. I'm not the only one who can see this. They must know. Ask your pastor about the 14 gods in Genesis of chapter 1 and 2. Ask your pastor about the 2 creations that come into one. But this I must say that I have only discovered through numerology. And this is why I think a lot of people are told in the churches numerology is evil. It is evil, but it's going to bring you onto life. Evil is the word life back to front. So sometimes you have to go back to go forward. And so I am here to say, people, that you have been lied to. And it's perhaps no wonder why the word believe appears so many times. I've got to check. I think it must be hundreds of times. Christians, it's about believers. It's not about knowing, it's about believing. Believing is one stage, people. The word believe comes to one stage, which is 33. Now, let me show you something. In Genesis, the word Genesis, Genesis, equals 33, just like the word believe. Believe, which Christ spoke a lot on. Eve. Now, I also note that there is Eve here in the word believe, which is perhaps a cunning way. I say cunning because our remedy is through the caduceus. The caduceus, which is the 2 serpents, coming together. This is why the caduceus is the symbol of healing or wisdom. The word wisdom as well equals 11, but we won't go too far into this right now. I am feeling that I've got to bring this in many different ways because no one else is teaching this as the 14 gods that Christians have hidden in the Bible and not speaking on it. Okay, so believe, which is 1539545, this is 10, this is 23, 26, 30, 32, 33, 33, 33. Right. 33 is actually a very serious number in the sense that, of course, this is how Jesus came as Jesus. Again, 5 took on not Emmanuel, like he shall be named Emmanuel, but he was called Jesus more than any. This is what we know. Jesus has its meaning which gave everything, but this equals 11. Now, I want to say that, show you that the word three, because the language we have been given is in gift. The numbers are symbols, everything is symbols. But when we have this gift of numerology, synchronicity, intuition, which I consider the main three languages or modes of language that we need to master to be able to understand this. This is where, in our time, a lot of people are being now going through the crucifixion. Going through the crucifixion, like R. Kelly, his first name is Robert, which actually equals 33. Brother Polite, and I know many other people as well with this 33. If you are the age of 33, you're probably going through a very, or have been through a very significant change, alteration in your life. So, this is the word 33. If only you would believe. Now, what I want you to understand, please, is that Jesus died at this 33. So, died at 33 is asking you to get to this point of having this 3 3. And this 3 3 always comes with another person, like Cain and Abel, or even Adam and Eve, or Jacob and Isaac, or Esau and Jacob, whichever it was, or Isaac and Ishmael, or always paired, or Moses and Pharaoh, or then another time it's Moses and Aaron, because Moses has to kill Aaron. All these are in pairs, and with each of these, the dying is a seed is being under. There's a seed being planted. So I want to really show you the correlation, even in the scriptures, that they are not talking much about. They are not talking much about the genealogy of Christ, the first book of Matthew, which Matthew equals 9. 9 is beginning. So they're showing you another new beginning because it's the New Testament. There's a beginning. But Matthew elaborates on the genealogy of or lineage of Jesus Christ for coming 14 generations of 14. If I remember well, the word 14 might be repeated 3 times and generation 4 times. 14 actually also equals 41. Sorry, 41 here. Point I am making here. Why would we have something so fundamental, so significant, because the word universe in itself is 41, and then we have Jesus as 14? Isn't that a reflection of the universe, as in a mirror image, as in giving us a perspective of opposites and polarities? Isn't that telling us a message? How do we put there's 14 on here? Shouldn't we have some kind of idea or pay some attention to this, and not just merely see it as though it was just something to tell us, oh yes, that Jesus came from the generation of 14, and but everything, this is why numerology is so important. When it is written in a way that tells us, for instance, I'm trying to get it here, that Jesus came from like from David onto Babylon was 14, and onto Abraham and onto whatever was 14 generations. Keeps, and specific generations. That tells us quite a lot. In the repetitions of the word generation, the repetitions of 14 is telling us quite a lot. Like when I say three, there's 3 repetitions, it's also telling us about the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, of course. But it's the word generation is also very crucial. It's like saying you need to overcome this 5 or get into this 5, because 14 is 5. 1 plus 4 equals 5. This is when you begin to look up in the sky or wherever you look and see yourself as 5. This is why we have the 5 senses or 5, or the pyramid that equals 5, or kundalini that equals 5, or uterus that equals 5. So many things that equals 5 to really guide us. It's like having binoculars to really show us the channel that is necessary. It's like telling you you have everything you need, but you need to be mindful of examine what you have, basically. Examine it. So you have been lied to, people. I've got to turn this in a way so you can see this. We have been lied to that people are not, they've hidden or taken away that part of the truth, which is in, as I say, it's verbatim gods. Whether it's in verbatim, whether it's in adjectives or whatever it is, they're there for us. They are meant to help us, just like you people are teaching about Jeremiah, they're teaching about Ezekiel, Moses, and giving all those stories, and to get you to be fearful of, oh well, the blood, the this, the that. Get to understand, it is vital we get to understand the 14 gods of Genesis. This is what we are talking about. The story of Jesus dying at the age of 33 is a transformation. That's what these guys are going through, whoever it is on 33. Remember what it was like for you on 33. What was your challenges? I remember very well about 32 going to 33. But what were your challenges? What did you have to die of in that sense? And you may have to have another go through other chances, because we are stripping away layers of truth, whatever it is, layers to get to the bone of the truth. This is what Ezekiel had something about, God telling him to build the bones or gather the bones. God was always about the bones, the blood, the bread, the bread, the blood, the bones, the build a fire, build all. It was always building or breaking or something like this. There's lots of bees. And so that meant in itself something is being broken. Just like 3 has got the emblem of the letter B. Okay, so we have the created God, the moved God, which I would love to be able to tell you so much more on all of the gods, but in one go, so you really get it. But then it's going to be a very long video, which is something else that I will see how I could do it in the future. And to put all the key things that shows the uniformity of what we have been lied about, and to really let there be light. So you can see here, as I have said before, you can see 4672. Then we have 2764. Then we have 2. These are the numbers we have. They seem to be like the only true real numbers that exist, if you like. So it's like we only have in reality these numbers. That's what it feels like here. But of course, each of these come into this 40 days or 40 years or number 4. As you will notice here with all the gods, none of the gods have the emblem or the symbol of the number 4 here in their values. Now, sorry about the messy writing, but none of the gods have 4, because that means you are already that 4, but that 4 requires the crucifixion, your crucifixion. Remember the children of Israel 40 years. Remember Jesus fasting for 40 days, 40 nights. All of this 40, which coincide with the crucifixion. But I want to show you, of course, with 40, that equals 30. The word 40 equals 30, which is the pieces of silver, the 30 pieces of silver that Jesus that was the cost. 3 again equals 2. So I want to actually keep this short. Let's see how best I can do this to really show that, yes, so we see here we have major effects that shows us, with shows 14. Here is one number. There's a number that actually mirrors itself. It actually mirrors itself. Now, I call these the letters, I call them glad rags, I call the numbers the projection. The numbers project, the letters, they're like female, or perhaps not. I may have them the other way around or whatever, but they're dressed in glad rags, and they are actually, this is where when you work through them, is there you get the full essence or the expansion or the true value of a word. True, whatever it is, whatever is true, but it mirrors. It's like looking in the mirror. Right now, it's like you could be watching this and you're wondering, is this her right hand or whatever, or whether is she this way, is she that way? Well, I kind of work this out myself. I could flip the photo to show another angle or something like that. But however, I am saying all of this to show that we are not Christians. Pastors have not taught you this. Pastors are not teaching you this because that would shake the whole story about criticizing Hindus who worship 33 million gods, which actually coincides with Genesis because it's the 33, but only because they have the word million, which actually million means million, is that 4933. Again, we see the threes in the middle here. 965. So this is 20, this is 34, 38. So 38 is actually the 11. This is what we are required to do. This is what I'm talking about. So 30, to say 33 million is again showing the emphasis of what we are meant to do, and it's a way of saying God is infinite. You come into this realm and you are given chance over and over again to get into this state. This is it. One is your cross. Here Jesus tell you every man must bear his own cross. But however, people are teaching, well, yeah, well, he died for us, and so that meant we don't have to bear any crosses. Why are so many of us still experiencing pain or sexual abuse or sexual trauma or sexual assault or murder or this or that, even when we say we believe? It means that we need to understand our process is to get to know for ourselves who we are, the makeup that we are 33 million. And this 38 coincides with the five gods in Genesis of chapter 2, which is the ended God, the formed God, the caused God, the breathed God. That's where breath was put, and the planted God. These are the five gods. You could say these are the gods now who actually, you could say, put us in trouble in the sense of things. That's when things those the implementation of those gods made the change. Nine is beginning. The word beginning equals nine. And so, oh, my battery is going to, the word beginning equals nine, and five equals end. So those five gods, which coincide with the five gifts you were given as well, to, because the blessed God, of course, is advocates about being less. There was something, a lot of abundance was given, but when you have the blessed now, there was something that you were asked to be, but then it became less, as if something was taken away or something has to be replenished. This is where you have to be fruitful. You have to you have to replenish. You have to subdue, and what's the other one? Multiply and have dominion. And so people have been going more about having dominion by not telling you or teaching you about the 14 gods. But I am so happy and grateful in a sense that in 2021 we have the key, which is number 5, is unlocking and unbolting, and the truth must come out, because now it's like a tower. This is the Tower of Babel just crashing down right now. It's crashing down for us to rebuild, for us to rebuild. It's now we break. It's like the walls of Jericho coming down. In fact, that reminds me of a chapter in my book or a poem or something. The Jericho wall must come down. There it is, ignited souls. You have built me a wall like Jericho's wall. But how high are you willing to go to show that you have built me a wall like Jericho's wall? You've built me a wall. Is it 6, 8, or 10 inches thick, as though it were made of bricks, pretending to shelter me from the rain and snow, a gesture you thought had entrapped me within? Have you noticed the weeds growing from the cracks of that ugly wall that you built? And now you are shocked to even hear my voice. Yes, well, it is I, daughter of Zion, conceived by the son of Ray, the son of light, the crimson light. 7 times a day I shouted the mournful sounds of the shofar, 7 times a day regretting my pain. But today is your gain to tumble down in shame to the thundering steps and sounds of the mighty one. Now we are uprooting the seed that had permeated in the human psyche and have tarnished our thoughts, our ability to think, our ability to speak, taking the voices of people, and replacing it with shame, replacing it with blame, replacing it with all kinds of things where people are feeling that they can't speak, you know. And when they do, it's quite loud, or it's it's like to make up for the times that they can't. It is just so ridiculous. But having said all that, I will be doing another video about sexual abuse and what we can do to heal our lives. So do join me again, and please leave your comments on this. I notice that, in fact, I am of the belief that this subject is still very it's quite a lot for people to take in. But just leave your comment. It's okay if you want discretion, whatever it is. And well, stay ignited, people, as we are on this road of evolution. Yes, I am Crime Queen, your partner in crime.